Well, good morning. It is March the 19th. My name is Greg Simpson, and this is our daily Lenten Devotional. Now, I know that we are just creeping up on Holy Week and Easter. It's just around the corner. But our scripture today actually comes from an episode that happens quite a few days later. We're actually jumping all the way to the date of Pentecost, and we're going to read a piece of the Pentecost story. And that is Acts 2, verses 14 to 24. Now, I'll give you just a tiny bit of background here, just in case you're not familiar with the Pentecost story. This is the time when the Holy Spirit descends upon Peter and a bunch of the people around him, and they start speaking in tongues. And the folks around think that maybe they're drunk, and that leads us up to this part of the story. So we're not reading the whole thing. It's a fairly long section, but this is Peter's response to the unbelief that's going on in the community. People are just not understanding what's going on. But Peter, standing with the 11, raised his voice and addressed them. Men of Judea and all who live in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and listen to what I say. Indeed, these are not drunk as you suppose, for it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. No, this is what was spoken through the prophet Joel. In the last days it will be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Even upon my slaves, both men and women, in those days I will pour out my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show portents in the heaven above and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and smoky mist. The sun shall be turned to darkness and the moon to blood, before the coming of the Lord's great and glorious day. Then everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. You that are Israelites, listen to what I have to say. Jesus of Nazareth, a man attested to you by God with deeds of power, wonders, and signs that God did through him among you, as you yourselves know, this man, handed over to you according to the definite plan and foreknowledge of God, you crucified and killed by the hands of those outside the law. But God raised him up, having freed him from death, because it was impossible for him to be held in its power. So this is a story about the Holy Spirit, and I love conversations about the Holy Spirit. That might make me a little bit different from some ministers. I know that there are whole denominations that if we're talking about the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, we get quite comfortable with God, very, very comfortable with Jesus, but little squeamish about the Holy Spirit. I personally am a huge fan of conversations about the Holy Spirit. Maybe because I just feel very connected. Actually, maybe I'll share a story with you because I feel the Holy Spirit very, very often in my daily life. In fact, I feel the Holy Spirit right now while I'm doing this work here. Now, these morning daily devotions are slightly different than preaching on a Sunday, but it's not altogether different. This is like a little sermon each morning that I put these together. A lot of the prep work is the same, kind of how I get ready. And as you can see, I'm doing this without any script, and it's not like there's a teleprompter here or something. And on Sunday mornings, if you're ever in Chatham and you come to visit us at St. Andrew's, you would see that I don't have notes or a script. It takes a lot more prep work, I find, to preach extemporaneously, but I also really love that it makes for a really good connection between the speaker and the people who are listening. It kind of breaks the barriers and just means that we can connect. But it's not like I'm memorizing every time. I do not have that good of a memory, not in that particular way. I'm fairly decent at collecting up a whole bunch of different ideas and having them readily available. But to say, this is what I'm going to say in this sentence exactly, and I've written this all out and I'm going to repeat it, that's not me at all. In fact, what I do each and every Sunday, and I'm doing right now, is I leave a lot of space for the Holy Spirit to really guide me. Now, if you're somebody who's a little uncomfortable with the Holy Spirit, and I've just talked about that, I get it if that sounds really kind of woohoo to you, and that's fine. I used to think that as well. I used to really struggle with the Holy Spirit, but it's something that I feel very connected to, very empowered by. Empowered. That's a good word. I think we'll title this one Empowered, because it does a good job actually of describing what Peter is sharing and what was happening in this moment as well. The Holy Spirit is empowering these people to do and see and be different. Because there's something very engaging about the Holy Spirit, very empowering. This isn't something that you just kind of do in the back of your head while you're sitting thinking. To me, the Holy Spirit is something that's very active. It's not passive whatsoever. And I love that as we read this through, that phrasing, your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. It strikes me as exactly the world that we need. We need to have people of all ages and all genders and all descriptions and all places, all walks in life to be engaged, to be dreaming, to be prophesying, talking about the future, being engaged in becoming something. Not just stuck in this moment, or even worse, stuck in the past, just, talking about things that have gone by. No, this idea that the Holy Spirit emboldens us and empowers us to be deeply engaged in what's going on. And the other part that I love, and I feel very personally, is the Holy Spirit gives us the ability to be an even bigger or better version of ourselves. Again, when I am doing public speaking, I think if it weren't for the Holy Spirit, I would very quickly get to the end of my skill set and talent, unquestionably. But when I have courage enough to let the Holy Spirit guide me, to really open up. And I've tried to describe this to different people who are sort of outside of a Christian conversation. So I can't just say, oh, it's the Holy Spirit. But the phrase that I've used that other creative folks that I've spoken with really can wrap their heads around is a state of flow. And I've certainly spoken to people who are potters, and when they're working on the wheel, they get to this state of flow and they kind of lose track of what's going on. And definitely people who are painting get to that as well. Writers get to a spot where they've been tapping away on the keyboard for 8 hours and realize that, wow, it's gotten dark out here. This idea, this state of flow where it is definitely you very much engaged in the process, but it's something bigger than you. It's not just a conscious thing. To me, that could very well be the Holy Spirit. There's something truly spectacular when we let ourselves go enough that we can be empowered by the Holy Spirit. All through our Lenten daily devotionals, we've been talking lots about some big topics and some little topics, and we spend a bunch of time in learning. But also, we're not just sitting with this being a head thing only. This isn't just cerebral. We're turning this into action. And it's the Holy Spirit that does that. So why don't we take a minute and pray to be emboldened, empowered by the Holy Spirit, even those of us for whom this is a bit of a nervous topic. Let's pray together. Holy Spirit, breath of life, we invite you to empower us, to be deeply engaged in us, in our actions and our thoughts, in our words, in our very lives. We invite you to lead us to be more kind and more caring, more just, more likely to advocate for those who are oppressed, more likely to take our thoughts and our learning and turn it into actions. Holy Spirit, when we look around at this world, we see you at work in so many other people. And we invite you to be at work in us. take that which we are already good at and make it even better. Take the dark and shadowy parts of our minds that we try to ignore and bring light. Take the skills that we've tried to ignore and show us how we can change the world. We count on you, your flow, your presence to work in and through and with us. And by this, may we make the kingdom of heaven a thing here on earth. Amen. Well, I hope that I haven't given away too much. I just realized I was kind of telling you all of my secrets that I'm pretty much just making it up. Well, I'm not making it up at all. It takes lots of research and time and planning to be able to have the courage to let the Holy Spirit be at work. But truly, there is something empowering and amazing and I'm not coming up with the right words. It's really good. It's really wonderful to feel that I am a conduit of God's work in this world. And I know each and every one of you in your own ways. Some people are speakers and some people are doers. Some people care and some people think. Some people make policies and stand up in political situations, and some people just go out to where the work needs to be done. That's you guys. That's you at work with the Holy Spirit within you. Thank you so much for taking time to spend with me this morning. If this is a video that you think somebody that you know should watch, just click the share button. It's right down there, and then you can send it off to them. It'd be great if you've missed any videos before, you can click there and get them. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd be surprised if you didn't. And maybe click the thumbs up while you're down there. I love you all. We'll see you in the next video tomorrow. Bye for now.